What's up, Safe Riders? Thank you for checking out this video where I'll be installing some slider spools. My bike can both be protected, so I can also use it with my rear bike stand. I actually just got back from my second trip to Cycle Gear for the slider spools that I got, because the first set that I bought didn't fit my bike. The fitment instructions did say that it fits most Kawasaki's, I think like 2017 and later, but of course we know that we can't always trust that. So before I headed back, if you've got some, I would recommend using some calipers to help you figure out what size spools you need. The calipers helped me realize that I needed the 8mm instead of the 10mm that I originally bought, but that's okay. So the bolt insertion holes are for an 8mm. Now you have to remember that that's 8mm total. Now the threads in there are going to be about maybe 1mm thick, or so the calipers told me. 7mm. So let's get to it. Alright, so looking at the whole bike, the place you are going to install the sliders is right there. Okay. And here are the spools that I bought, the slider spools by Speed Metal. And of course you want to inventory your items before you get started. Make sure you have everything. So this is everything that comes with it. Slider spools and the bolts. So I did ride my bike to Cycle Gear and was able to check that these bolts actually fit, and they do. So awesome. Let's get them in there. So this is going to be a pretty easy install. You're basically going to line up the slider spool there, the bolt, and you're going to just screw it in. Looks like the bolt takes a number 6 hex key. Now I know for the Puig sliders that I installed in my previous video, I didn't use thread lock. I think it's an absolutely good idea to use thread lock for these types of bolts, because of all the vibration that is associated with a motorcycle. So what I'll probably do after I'm done with this install is I'll take out the frame sliders and apply some thread lock. Alright, so let's get this in here. So what you'll do is you'll just take the bolt, put the thread lock along threads there. Just kind of spin it and get it even there. Okay. All right, so get it tight in there as much as you can, and then use the shorter side to get a little bit more torque in there. Now I couldn't tell you how tight you should make it, but you definitely don't want to strip the threads. The method I'm using is as far as I should be able to comfortably push on the hex key, just like that, and that's good. Alright, so now we're going to rinse and repeat on the other side. Alright, so here we are on the left side of the bike. Now something I realized is that I probably only need thread lock at the first 3/4 of an inch, because the rest doesn't screw in All right, so got it tight there. Now for a little bit more torque. A little bit more there. And I think that should be good. There you are. Let's get the rear stand working with these. All right, so this is the rear stand I got. It's a Trackside brand. The way they have it configured out of the store is that there are these rubber pegs right here. So if you don't have any bike stand spools, you can lift the bike using the pegs here. Now that we got some spools installed, what you want to do is just flip them around, and I'll show you how that's done. So you're going to unscrew this, and this slides back and forth so that so you can line it up to where you need to for your bike. The fork should go on the inside. It's all right. So we'll flip them around, and actually, yeah. So that puts the longer end facing towards the front. Cool deal. All right. Now, because the bike is on the kickstand, of course the motorcycle is leaning like this. So the way to still be able to get it lined up is you are going to have to pull the bike to be upright. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get this roughly around where it should be. So the way we want to do that is, so looking at it from the rear, you can kind of see that it is kind of roughly around where it should be. All right. Okay. So you're gonna pull the bike towards you. And line up the forks with the spools. All right, so I'm gonna hold it there. The bike stand is able to hold it. So just kind of line it up there and right there. Now that we know that the forks are in a good position, now let's tighten up those bolts. Okay, now that they're fairly tight, I'm going to take the bike stand off and lean the bike onto the kickstand. You just slowly lower the bike stand and guide the bike onto the kickstand. There we go. Okay. So I've tightened it enough to where I can't slide it back and forth, but now we want to really make sure we get that tight. Cool, I think that's good. I think what we want to do is first kind of get the forks kind of in there where we need it to be. Okay. And no. So we want to get the bike stand ready to go, and then we're going to want to pull the motorcycle to be upright. Okay. Now, if you trust your fork fitment, if you are lined up on the side that you can actually see, the other side should be lined up too. Okay. Then you just push down and it lifts it up. Okay, now if we put the bike in neutral, now we can spin and do our maintenance. All right, so there you have it. That was a pretty easy install. Again, thank you for checking out this video. It's a fairly new channel, and I don't know where it's gonna go. If you would please help me out by clicking like and subscribe. Until the next video, ride safe and nothing else.